to another video. If you're new here, I am Emily, otherwise known as Shamanism. You can call me anything, just don't call me late for dinner. And if you're coming back, welcome back, UOG. Thank you for being here. So glad you're here. The topic on my mind this morning and the subject of this video is something that's been on my mind for some time. And it's the question, and this is not necessarily something that I'm looking for an answer for specifically, more just putting out there for you and I to explore together, what exactly is power? There's a lot of discussion that I've heard from the time that I started on my spiritual journey all the way up until now. There has always been discussion of power. And this morning, as I'm going through my morning rituals, I find myself thinking about power. What really is power, and what does it mean to have power? And does power come with responsibility? My automatic answer to that would be, I absolutely think so, yes. However, I think if you ask different people, they might not necessarily say that. So I, for one, am curious. Let me know in the comments, what do you guys think? What exactly is power? Which actually links to another question I've also been percolating on recently, which is, what is success exactly, right? I mean, I know there's a specific dictionary definition, just like there is for power. However, I just think about, what does this really mean for us in our lives? We often, in the spiritual community, we go around saying that we're infinite beings, but what does that really mean? You know, I understand on the logical sense to some degree. I also think that because we are human by the nature of being human, there's an aspect of that we're just, that we may not ever understand. I'm trying to leave it open. So I just was thinking about power and how much power we ourselves hold or don't hold, the way we allow our own personal power to be used or not used by others, knowingly and unknowingly. Just what an interesting dynamic it is in life. And I wanted to share, I suppose, that my perspective is that power, whatever it is, that the more of it, if you accumulate more power, my feelings are that with, you know, there's that Spider-Man saying or whatever, with great power comes great responsibility. Well, I've seen a lot of spiritual leaders and people and leaders in general and people of power in general in the last, let's say, 1 or 2 decades, really misuse and abuse that power. And part of the reason I'm talking about this morning, I'm sure, is simply because this is a world theme that I have a feeling the balances of which are being addressed right now in the grand global scheme, which I don't pretend to understand. When I say the grand global scheme, I mean the universe in his or her or their, whatever, infinite wisdom and knowledge of this grand plan, you know. I don't know what they have planned. So presumably up there, they know what they're doing. I don't know the plan down here. I still think as your power grows, or whatever, if you increase your power, I believe you, whoever you are, or me, whoever it is growing the power, has a responsibility to wield it wisely. Let's use an example really silly, something like a child with scissors. When you instruct them the first time on how to use these scissors, you usually tell them things like, don't run with scissors, don't point them at yourself. You give them warnings to keep them safe so that they don't, I don't want to use misuse as the word, but so that they're cautious and discerning with the way that they use their newfound power of a scissor, right? So I suppose my conclusion for the time being is that power is like any other energy. It is sort of defined by its user and user. And it can be used for good and it can be used for not good things. And I think if we look around ourselves, we can see examples of both sides rampantly all over the place. Kindness and not so kindness. I'm trying not to use the other words just to keep this space more pure. At any rate, I really wanted to just invite up the subject of power, of success, to perhaps for you guys, for the purpose of reminding you maybe that power, success, all these things, yes, they're a measure in some form or fashion of where we are in the markers of life. They're not the be all end all though, and they don't tell you who you are. Like, you could look at me and say, she's such a failure. She's never this, she's never that, she's never done this thing or that thing or whatever. Do you know what I realized this morning, or I feel resonance with this morning, is that it doesn't matter. And I have spoken about this here. It doesn't matter where really you are on your journey. Your journey, no matter what happens, is yours. And you have a team that has one of whom, or many of whom, I don't even know, I'm still learning this stuff, whom has been with you since birth and guiding you towards your ultimate best possible outcome, life path, whatever you want to call it. So today I just wanted to really invite you to think about these things, about success, about power. What are they? What do they mean? Should they have any meaning? And think about those things in your life. Because what I found in my life is that although the external really likes to throw into our visuals and into our ears and things like that, these symbols of a supposed power, like if you are X number of pounds weight-wise, and if you are X description of a person, you know, X type of hair, X color eyes, whatever, then you are powerful or successful or whatever. I'd like to challenge that. I actually think that some of the more powerful people in the world say and do less. Like, it's not about, in my opinion, it's not about showing off who you are. That's not a measure of success. It's not how many things you have. It's, for example, say you asked a handful of people who knew you, it's how do you make those people feel, or how do those people feel in your presence? What kind of space are you able to hold? How safe do people feel around you? How loved do people feel when they're in your space? These are the things that, in my opinion, are some measure of true power. True wisdom, true power is honesty, loyalty, true transparency. Something that irks me about this day and age is that the word transparency and like honesty get thrown around like as if everybody is using them. And the funny thing is that some of these people using these words aren't even upholding honesty and truth and discernment and things themselves. So to that end, be careful who you trust. And if you take perhaps nothing else away from this, trust yourself at the end of the day. Trust your own intuition, not your mind. I was kind of pointing there, but I meant because like this is the channel of our source of real guidance is from, you know, above, through, etc. So think about that whilst you go through your day, through your week, whatever time of day it is, or whenever you're finding this. Observe to yourself, I would say. What's around you? What are you seeing? What's power? What is success? Both what is false success for you and for people, and what is, you know, true success for you and for others. I'd urge you to observe the world around you. And I'd also urge you to perhaps, I don't know if I want to use a word like define, because that's sort of square in the box and very cut and dry. However, maybe to define what power and success and these things mean for yourself. Because at the end of the day, it's not about what it means to be powerful and successful in society. That's not the thing. The thing is that it's about being happy and fulfilled and true in yourself and honest and kind and generous and giving and a whole bunch of other adjectives I could use towards others. And not at the expense of yourself. Like, you are here for your own journey. And no matter, the part that I love about the life journey is that no matter what you do, no matter where you end up or you think you are, or how far you've fallen or how high you've risen, the universe is always there, and they will always sort of adjust the scale, and you will be exactly where you need to be. It might take a little adjustments, but one way or the other, you're going to get where you're going. So I hope that that brings you some form of relief, because when I realized that for myself, that really it's not about achieving this milestone that such and such person achieved, or it's not about this marker specifically, it's about what can I do with my time here on earth with the fact that I'm awake and I have discernment. You know, what is the most positively impacting thing for me anyway that I can do? How many people can I positively affect and share wisdom with and share perspective with and give love to and hold safe space for? That's why I'm here on earth, and heal, which, side note to that, I want to share with you guys that I I had an epiphany regarding sound healing for myself. And to that end, I just wanted to say that per the channel's sound healings, it's going to be shifting around a little to what it's been. It has been nature-centric, and it still will be nature-centric. I'm feeling a real call to bring those, when I bring meditations, to bring them through my singing bowl. And one in particular is really calling me to be used. So having said that, I'm not sure actually particularly what chakra it corresponds to. And what I realized, unfortunately or fortunately, a bit of both, is that sound healing really, it's best when done in person. So although I do believe that all these sound healings that are out there have power, I would say that just like, for example, going to a concert in real life and experiencing what feeling that music in the moment and feeling the energy of the group playing that music in the moment feels like, receiving a sound healing through a recording is like a muted version. Even like you could think of a trumpet. Trumpets are normally unmuted, but at times, for example, in jazz, they have a little mute box that they put in the end and it mutes the sound. So realizing that for me anyway, the sound healings I'm giving out are a lot more effective in person, which is a bit unfortunate. They are still working. It's just that, like I said, it's more that the effect is muted through things like the internet. So that was an interesting realization. And also I just wanted to explain that that's a part of why, at the moment anyway, I'm not bringing as many meditations through. However, they are and still always will be a part of my life and the channel. So don't worry, they're not going anywhere. It's not the Emily show, although it kind of is, because technically this is my channel and that was a part of the whole connecting to you guys point of me ever creating a channel, was to connect with the people that are like-minded with me and to learn together about gardening, about permaculture, and explore ourselves, the nature of humanity, being alive, spirituality. These are the things that interest me. So I'm glad you're here if you're here. Thank you also for spending your 12 or 13 or so minutes with me. I really appreciate it. It means the world. I don't know if when I speak in these videos, you guys understand across the waves how grateful I am for your presence here. You really could have been anywhere, and the fact that you chose to spend your precious time with me really means everything. I want you all to know that from my heart, I'm really cultivating this channel as a place where you can not only find authentic truth, like in what I will be sharing is my truth, and the truth that I'm finding to be true, which is a weird way of saying that, and that this will always be a safe space for meditation, for peace, for people to explore themselves and to grow together and together with the earth in harmony. I know that's kind of a broad thing. That's the aim of my goal, though. It's to bring peace, happiness, and harmony, to bring through some sound healings, to bring healing in general in some form or fashion to you, and comedy when I can. So with that, thanks for listening for all this time. I really appreciate it. Thank you for hanging in there with me for another episode of the 365-Day Project. This has been kind of an exciting adventure so far. I'm enjoying it. How are you guys finding it? Do you think that the wisdom that's coming through, is there wisdom that's coming through? How do you guys feel? Have a beautiful rest of your day or night, wherever you're tuning in from, and I will see you, beautiful cats, in the next video. Bye. I have several, but the so know that, but I will share it does not, but and